Hello, I'm Tim Krul. Welcome to Norwich City Central.
Hello everybody, Lewis, Norris City Central. I hope you're doing well. God, it feels like ages since I've sat down in front of the camera and done one of these videos. I hope you guys are all doing well. And it's felt like ages since Norris City last played. Of course, that was almost 2 weeks ago now when we beat Swansea 1-0. And that does feel like ages ago. I hope you're all doing well though. In terms of the Norris City's fixtures coming up, it's going to be absolutely insane. Of course, we missed a month of the season, so all the fixtures kind of are all condensed together, and it's going to be absolutely crazy. Pretty much 2-3 games a week, all the way up till Christmas. Midweek games all the time. So it's going to be a pretty insane schedule. Norwich City are going to want to hope there's not too many injuries, and hopefully we can get a consistent good run together. I'm sure that could be the case. But I hope you're all doing well. In terms of content on the channel, this season, of course, it's been very hard with not being able to go to games, and fingers crossed, in the near future we can start to go to games again, and get that real community going, because football really does bring people together. But in terms of the content this season, haven't really been able to make the content I've wanted to this season, which has been disappointing. I think I've been quite busy myself, but hopefully now that there's lots of fixtures coming up, there'll be a lot more videos of Norwich City Central, and we can get a conversation going about Norwich City. So thanks for sticking with me. If you are new to Norwich City Central, please subscribe for match reviews, match previews, social media reactions, and let me know what type of content you want to see down below in the comment section, because I am considering doing live streams. And yeah, let's hope we can get some good content going. But I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. Let's talk about the game, and then talk about Norwich's upcoming game against Middlesbrough. Going to be a really interesting this one. Let's talk about Middlesbrough first, and they're doing quite well, sitting in 7th place in the table. And Neil Warnock's just an absolute legend, and you have some brilliant characters in football. You have your Jose Mourinho's, you have your Arsene Wenger's, and lots of really interesting characters. But in terms of English football, you have to say that he's the best, isn't he? One of the best characters. You love Neil Warnock. He's been around for decades, and really good championship manager at this level. Really good at keeping defences organised. Middlesbrough's last 2 games have been 0-0 draws, I think, to Blackburn and Brentford. So it shows, I don't think there's going to be too many goals in this game. But they're a really good defensive unit. In terms of players to look out for, of course, Johnny Howson, an ex-Canary. I think Johnny Howson spent 6 years at Norwich, having very successful seasons, doing very well in the Premier League for Norwich. Was an absolute hero, obviously got us promoted in the playoff final. Rescued a pigeon as well. Who can't forget that game against West Ham when he rescued a pigeon? So it's going to be good to see Johnny Howson play again. Really good player at this level. And Lewis Wing as well, a good player. And Britta Sombolonga as well. He seems to just score goals in the Championship. So they've got some very good players, but yeah, defensively they've been really good this season, and they're definitely going to be a tough team to break down. In terms of Norwich, as I said, it's felt like so long since we've seen them kind of play football. 2 weeks ago, it was against Swansea. It was a really interesting game. Swansea are definitely going to finish, in the top 6, top 7, top 8, in my opinion, this season. And it was a really interesting game, and if it wasn't for Tim Krul, we probably would have lost. Actually, he made a string of brilliant saves, and Norris City scored late with Marcus Sheeperman. Did we deserve to win it? Probably not, but Norris City have continued to find ways to win football matches with lots of late goals. And at the start of the season, I was slightly worried with Norwich, and the reason for that is because there wasn't really an identity, and obviously we weren't picking up wins. Daniel Farke kind of isolated Emi Buendia and Cantwell, and it looked like Daniel Farke had lost the dressing room. It looked like our best players like Buendia and Aarons were being hung out to, maybe not Aarons, but Buendia and Cantwell were being hung out to dry. There was no identity, and of course we was coming off the back of our worst ever season in Norwich City's history, so there was definitely some justifications as to why Daniel Farke should be under pressure. But realistically, in the last month or so, he's really turned it around in terms of Norwich City have got a clear identity. We're playing some very good football, and that's the most important thing. We've got an identity. We have the highest possession in the league. You clearly know how Norwich City are going to play, and we're starting to show character again, and it is really, really good to see. And the thing is as well, Norwich City still aren't really playing our best football. We're 3rd in the table, 1 point off first, but the amount of late goals we've scored, we almost drew to Wickham and a whole host of teams. So Norwich City haven't necessarily been able to win games comfortably, but still sit 3rd in the table, and that's a really encouraging sign. And you feel like Norwich City have got an identity, and you feel like Norwich City have definitely gears to go up with them, and with the likes of Emi Buendia in your team, there's always, you know, real optimism. Teemu Pukki, top scorer with 4 goals. Emi Buendia still pulling the strings, and he's not even at his best at the moment. I think Emi Buendia epitomises where Norwich City are at the moment. Real class, doing really well in terms of statistics, but you still feel like there's an extra gear to go up, and that's really exciting. In terms of the team lineup, I like to see against Middlesbrough, this is the team now. Tim Krul in goal. Tim Krul, for me, player of the season at the moment. He's made so many brilliant saves. The one against Bristol City is the save of the season, without a doubt, in my opinion. A back 4 of Ballymumba, Grant Hanley, Ben Gibson and Max Aarons. Firstly, on Ballymumba, let's not forget, he changed the game against Swansea. That 20-30 minute cameo at left back, absolutely brilliant there. If it wasn't for the 18-19-year-old Ballymumba, we wouldn't have won that game against Swansea. So he definitely deserves a chance at left back. Quintilla might be back, but Ballymumba deserves a chance there. Ben Gibson and Grant Hanley have been really solid. I've really liked the signing of Ben Gibson and Max Aarons as well. Always great, and a fantastic player at this level, as we all know. 2 central defensive midfielders, Oliver Skipp and Lucas Rupp. Oliver Skipp's done really well in a Norwich City shirt, and Lucas Rupp's been a revelation. Those two complement each other really well. Haven't seen the injury news yet. I know Lucas Rupp did sustain an injury before the Swansea game, but I'm sure he'll be back. In terms of the front 3 players, I'd go Emi Buendia, Marcus Stiepen and Todd Cantwell. As I said, I haven't seen the injury list yet, but in terms of Emi Buendia, 3 assists this season. He's created the most chances, and yeah, he's a brilliant player. You just feel like he needs to add more goals to his game, but Emi Buendia has been fantastic, and you still feel like there's an extra gear to go up. Marcus Stiepen got his first championship goal since he's come into the side. I think we've looked slightly better. He had a brilliant performance against Bristol City, and yeah, he offers something different. And on the left, I've gone with Todd Cantwell. I know Todd Cantwell did sustain an injury, but I think his head's in the right place now, and I'd like to see us unleash Todd Cantwell because he hasn't really been given too much of an opportunity kind of in the last month or so. Poeta played against the Netherlands. Poeta, really interesting what's happened with him over the international break. He got his first senior call up to the Polish team, which is great, and got 2 starts as well, including one against Tim Krul's Netherlands. And he was one of the players of the match. He was absolutely brilliant, linking up with Robert Lewandowski. And yeah, the Polish fans are really raving about this guy. A lot of you know, journalists and reporters saying that he was the best Polish player. And if you got Robert Lewandowski on the pitch, that's definitely a big compliment. But he's played a lot of football kind of over the last weeks, and I think maybe just for this game against Middlesbrough, it'd probably be better for him to be a sub to kind of freshen him up. And in terms of up front, Adam Eder did sustain an injury on international duty. You got Pukki, you got Hugo. For me, it's got to be Teemu Pukki every day of the week. Yeah, and hopefully he can kick on now and really improve. So that's the team I'd like to see us face. Middlesbrough. Score prediction, it's going to be a very tight game. Middlesbrough have had 2 0-0 draws. Norris City's last 2 games have been 0-0 and 1-0. So yeah, it could be an interesting one. Middlesbrough defend well. It's going to come down to a few moments of individual quality. And when I look at our team and Middlesbrough's team, I think we've got that extra quality in the likes of Buendia and Pukki. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 Norwich win, Teemu Pukki to score the winner. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. And until next time, I'll see you later.